Imagine waking up to the news that an extra $5,000 could be on its way to your account if you are a Social Security SSI or SSDI beneficiary. For millions of seniors and disabled Americans who rely on these payments to survive, this isn't just another headline. This is life-changing news. Right now, the internet is buzzing, and families across the country are asking one simple question: is this true? And if so, when and how will I get this money? That's exactly what we're breaking down today. Stay with me until the very end, because what you hear in the next few minutes could make the difference between missing out and being fully prepared for this upcoming boost. And before we dive in, if you care about updates that affect your money, your retirement, and your benefits, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we bring you the most important updates the moment they're announced. For decades, Social Security has been the backbone of financial security for older Americans, people with disabilities, and survivors who depend on the monthly check to cover food, rent, medication, and basic living costs. But with rising inflation, higher grocery prices, soaring rent, and medical bills that never seem to slow down, these payments often just aren't enough. Many beneficiaries have been calling, writing, and pushing lawmakers for real relief. And now, for the first time in years, there is a serious buzz about a one-time $5,000 direct payment that could be hitting bank accounts as early as this week. This isn't just some rumor floating around the internet. It's based on real discussions happening in Washington about how to give seniors and disabled Americans the support they desperately need. Think about it for a moment. What would 5,000 extra dollars mean to you or someone you love who depends on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI? For some, it could mean finally being able to pay off those nagging medical bills that insurance didn't cover. For others, it might mean catching up on rent, avoiding eviction, or simply being able to fill up the fridge without worrying if the money will last until the next check comes. $5,000 may not solve every problem, but for millions of struggling Americans, it represents breathing room, security, and a sense of dignity that has been missing for far too long. The push for this extra payment comes at a critical time. Inflation has chipped away at the buying power of Social Security benefits. Even though beneficiaries saw one of the highest cost of living adjustments in decades recently, the reality is that prices went up even faster. Seniors report that their monthly checks often run out halfway through the month, leaving them to rely on credit cards, family support, or even food banks to make it through. That's not what Social Security was meant to be. It was designed to be a safety net, a promise that after years of work and paying into the system, Americans would be able to retire or live with dignity despite disability. Yet too many find themselves counting every single dollar just to survive. That's why the idea of an additional $5,000 check has gained massive support, both in Congress and among advocacy groups who say the time to act is now. Behind the scenes, lawmakers have been debating how to make this payment possible. Some argue it should be a direct emergency relief payment, similar to the stimulus checks that went out during the pandemic. Others believe it should be tied to specific needs, like medical expenses or housing support. But the most important part of the discussion is that money would go directly to Social Security, SSI, and SSDI beneficiaries, people who need it most, people who have already spent decades contributing to the system, and people who are struggling right now. The proposal suggests that these payments could be processed quickly, with electronic deposits showing up in the same bank accounts where monthly checks already land. That means the rollout could be smooth, efficient, and most importantly, fast. Now, let's be clear. There is always confusion when announcements like this surface. Some people believe the money is guaranteed no matter what, while others think it's just a rumor designed to give false hope. The truth lies somewhere in the middle. There is a real proposal on the table. There are real lawmakers pushing for it. And there are millions of Americans demanding it. But like any government program, nothing is final until it is officially signed into law and distributed. That's why it is critical to stay informed and not miss a single update, because timing will matter. If you are eligible, you don't want to be left in the dark while others around you collect thousands of dollars in relief. The question everyone is asking right now is, when exactly will this money arrive? And who qualifies? Based on the most recent reports, the proposed timeline is fast. Lawmakers want these payments distributed within weeks, not months, and some insiders say direct deposits could even begin rolling out as soon as this week for those already in the system. Eligibility would be straightforward. Anyone currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits, supplemental security income, or Social Security disability insurance would automatically qualify. There would be no complicated applications, no extra forms, no hoops to jump through. The money would simply appear in the same account where your regular monthly payment arrives. That's why it is so important to make sure your banking information with the Social Security Administration is up to date. If you've recently changed banks or closed an account, now is the time to update your information because missing or incorrect details could delay your payment. I want to pause here and remind you, if you find this information helpful and want to stay updated as soon as more news breaks, hit that subscribe button and join our community. We make sure you don't miss the updates that matter most for your financial security, your retirement, and your benefits. Let's continue. Critics of the plan argue that giving out $5,000 per beneficiary is simply too expensive for the government to handle. They warn that it could increase the federal deficit or create inflationary pressure. But supporters push back with a simple truth. Seniors and disabled Americans are not the cause of the nation's financial problems. They are the ones who spent decades paying taxes, building the economy, and keeping the system strong. If anyone deserves help during tough times, it's them. And history has shown that when relief checks are sent out, they are spent quickly on essentials, circulating through the economy and benefiting everyone. So, in the eyes of many economists and lawmakers, the cost is worth it.